educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Round of applause, everyone. Dorothy, are you ready for our radio show?
No, but it's customary that I put on lipstick at the top of the show.
It is, because it's radio, and it's always important that we look good all of the time.
Although, can I say, one of our guests, who we will introduce in a moment, thought this was just radio, and I neglected to tell her there was a camera, and she's a little...
No eyeliner, no mascara. I'm so sorry.
And your daughter's scrunchy, but still, look at
and
you.
my daughter's scrunchy.
You're so
Really
hot.
beautiful.
Thank you.
But we have like a wild group today,
We do. This is so much fun. In case you don't know who we are, I'm Anna Garcia.
which is entirely possible.
That is.
And I'm Dorothy Lucy. We have both done TV in Los Angeles for a long time, and as Anna likes to say, we come from the most superficial place on earth, so we like to do something that is a little less superficial every once in a while as I finish putting on my lipstick.
Well, you go ahead. So this is the Mending Kids Hour, and basically what we do is we talk about children's health issues around the world and here in the United States, and we talk about some of the wonderful mission work that Mending Kids does. It's a national nonprofit that works internationally, but we talk about everything, don't we?
And we're going to talk about Haiti today, and we know that Haiti has issues with sewage. But first, if we can discuss the sewage issue that was a little closer to home this morning, your shower.
Yes, I have a third world situation in my home right now downstairs. So Dorothy and I were on a
And
conference
when you
call.
say downstairs, you
It's downstairs in every possible thought of downstairs. Yes, I had sewage backing up into my downstairs shower, and we had a health crisis at my house this morning. But that was all taken care of, and yes.
can Mending Kids help you in any way?
Yeah, well,
I have to turn this so I can look at you because you're so cute.
am I cute today?
Well, you have lipstick on.
You haven't even said anything about my jewelry today, or the fact that I decorated the set in honor of our show on Haiti.
Let me see your jewelry.
Okay, well, no, not
those
that.
real?
No,
Oh.
yeah, they are. Well, that's when I used to make money.
When you were employed. Okay.
That's from Haiti.
This is from Haiti.
I bought that
You
with,
knew that.
with
You have this?
Isabel.
You're kidding.
I told her to get that one, not the other one.
And I got this bracelet
Yes.
in Haiti.
Okay,
and
can
this.
we
this
just
is
say
from
1
Haiti.
second?
Isn't this gorgeous?
Wait, one
I
second. Say
recommended that.
the girl without any makeup on is Dr. Cathy Shin, who is a
Hello.
brilliant surgeon from Children's Hospital. Okay, continue about what you bought in Haiti.
All right, so I'm the only one today who's going to talk about Haiti, who's been to Haiti that really went there for the most superficial purpose ever.
a cruise.
Yes, I went on a cruise.
Okay, she told me I'm going on a cruise with my family, and I'm a little horrified because we're going to Haiti. I'm like, on a cruise?
Well, here's why I was horrified. Not because we were going to Haiti, but because it's
It was a
like...
cruise.
It was a cruise.
It was fancy.
And I thought to myself, hold on a second. You know, they've walled off this whole area, the most beautiful parts. In fact, Tony, I sent you a picture today of my cruise. And this is a picture of Labadee, Haiti. Have you been there?
Yes, ma'am.
So here was my problem.
All right, wait, let me just say.
Oh.
We should introduce people, right?
Oh, yeah, right. I'm sorry. I feel like everybody's here.
Caren Niewisch, everybody is here, who is the missions director for Mending Kids and the heart and soul of Mending Kids. She's been to every corner of the world mending children. Okay, please continue.
So here was my moral dilemma. We're going to Haiti. It's a secluded area on the island that is only for Royal Caribbean travelers and tourists, right? And on top of it, you can't visit the rest of Haiti.
No.
And
So you can never see the real story.
or really just sit and talk with people. So I felt that
They never
this-
want you to actually meet a Haitian.
They don't. I mean, they have a shop there where they sell stuff from nonprofits, and that's where I bought this stunning vase. Isn't this great? It's paper mache. I love this.
And now you have the same necklace?
And you have the same necklace. It's horn.
Yeah. I helped Isabel buy that.
Wow.
She wanted to buy another heart, and I said this would be better.
Isn't great?
Yeah.
But
Isabel, listened.
Isabel, another one of our volunteers, was a huge heart.
So
Not
do-
just that one.
So you all go to Haiti because you're doing surgery for children, but I felt conflicted. Is it all right to take this little part of Haiti, wall it off from the rest of what's really happening there, and do business there? I mean, I guess there is some money going back to Haiti. It was just an odd way for me to have been
Well,
to
to me,
Haiti.
that's the whole thing. Is there some money then going back to the Haitian people?
I hope
from
so.
your trip.
Well, they've helped to build a school there, which I think is very important because I questioned everyone on that cruise staff. It's
She's a
what is-
reporter.
Yes.
She's an investigative reporter. I do the stupid stuff.
Right.
No, I will be doing
Like I
stupid
even
stuff
had to
today.
say that. You know, really. So redundant. Anyway.
Anyway, enough about my vacation. The whole point of this conversation is about Haiti, and it's the access to health care. It's the access to education, which is why we have a fabulous guest. I hope everyone stays with us, because who's going to be on the show, Dorothy? Dorothy.
Okay, so I guess I wasn't supposed to say because
Oh, you told days ago on Twitter. You told everyone who was
I
coming on
know,
the show.
but Heidi, our beautiful Mending Kids human being, I guess you guys were tweeting, oh, can we reveal who it is? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I said 3 days ago Madeleine Stowe was coming on to talk about and Revenge, which you're a little obsessed with.
I love that show. She is the star of Revenge. She plays Victoria Grayson.
And she's getting her revenge this season.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love that show. So, but she's going to talk a little bit about the show just to please me, but she's also going to talk about Haiti because of the work she does in Haiti. And she goes there
With Artists for Peace and Justice, and she's been there many times.
Yes. So
Look, I feel like I'm the serious one today, and you're the goof off. It's
oh,
weird.
finally. You know, sometimes I want to be the pretty blonde in the room, Dorothy.
You can easily be. I almost didn't make it here today. I had to change. I had to put on several other sets of undergarments because my shirt was a little see-through. And Anna knows I will wear shorts anywhere around the world. That
Inappropriate.
I'll be inappropriate anywhere.
Inappropriate in Muslim countries, Dorothy.
But not a see-through shirt when we're talking about children. Okay, should we throw the video so people know
Yes.
a little bit about what Mending Kids does in Haiti?
Yes. That is Caren speaking.
Most recent trip to Haiti, and I hope Cathy will jump in if she sees something that I haven't seen.
God, you're high maintenance.
There we are. Yeah, well, you need a waiting room. Where are you going to keep the people until it's time for the session?
The work that Dr. Shin does and her team, it's incredible. They are working in some of the most challenging conditions that Mending Kids works in, period.
When you say challenging, it's like, did you begin the work in Haiti before or after the earthquake?
After. And
Oh.
it was really tough getting into Haiti because we got in because of Madeleine Stowe. And,
Oh, really?
And Artists for Peace and Justice, yes. They were so sick of all the looky-loo volunteers that just came to gawk and not really just wanted to say they went there. And it took some doing to get in past Sister Judy, who runs a tight hospital. But she eventually allowed us in. Dr. Father Rick Frechette and Susie, Dr. Judy, they
It's okay that you know these people.
It's fine. Susie, Doctor, Father.
Dr.
let-
Seuss.
the last
Yes.
to make a long story short, after their hesitation in having us come, it was an all-female team.
Which is
Seven-
so cool.
That
Woo!
is really
How many
cool.
chicks
Yeah.
did you take to Haiti with you?
We had 7 chicks.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And afterwards, Sister Judy sent us an email saying, you have set a new high standard for medical missions and surgical teams for St. Damien and Haiti. And this is the only pediatric hospital in Haiti that is running all the time.
That's St. Damien.
That's
correct.
St. Damien Hospital.
And I know you don't just let any volunteer go because Anna met Dr. Shin.
Yes.
Cathy.
I asked to go. I begged to go, and
No,
they
it
said,
was-
no, you can't go.
It was a closed mission because there were a lot of political issues going on at the time.
And I am controversial.
No, but if you're going, you need to be able to help in some way
Yeah.
or have a function.
Hello.
She bought the doctors in Cambodia M&Ms.
I did. I'll
So
feed you.
when you got there, and I don't think it was this last trip, the trip before maybe, I heard you got there and the first thing you guys did was go to a funeral. I mean, am I overstating this that there are just bodies everywhere?
There are bodies everywhere.
Every
Even
morning.
at church, there's bodies. And Father Rick was this wonderful man, and he believes that everyone deserves a burial. So people will leave dead bodies in front of the hospital, knowing that their loved one will have a proper
He'll
burial.
take care of
Yeah.
it. That's why
Yes.
they do it.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah.
there's something
because
to
they
that
can't
then.
afford that.
Let me ask you, Dr. Shin.
You can just call me
Cathy?
Cathy.
Kathy with a C?
Miss Garcia.
Kathy with a C.
Okay, Kathy. set the stage for us of what it is like in Haiti, because the first time I met you, you were standing on crutches, your leg was in a cast, and you were so impassioned about your experience and what you had done. You basically blew all the other doctors away.
Did I really?
You did.
I was not aware because there's very
No,
attractive doctors there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? My
Yeah.
friend Dina Anselmo.
He's cute.
So
I don't
cute.
know
But
if
she's
he's
the
that
most.
cute. No.
Look how cute she is, and she's going to be the next Dr. Oz. But she's the most competitive person I've ever known. Because
Thank you, Tony.
other doctors have gone on missions and done maybe 30 kids, maybe 40 kids, which is amazing. We're talking about complex surgeries, but you need to blow them all away.
How
Thank
many?
you.
What's the most surgeries you've done?
I think we broke our own record this last time. We did 89
9
procedures.
procedures.
my
And you're the only surgeon.
I'm the only
She's
surgeon.
the only surgeon.
And what
89.
this is what, a little over a week.
No, it's
5
5 days.
days.
Oh my! How do you do that?
I know. So this is a secret to all women. We have to multitask. We have to delegate.
What are you doing while you're doing surgery if you're
A
multitasking?
pedicure. I don't know. What are you doing?
I'm chatting with my daughter back in Los Angeles. I'm ordering stuff on Amazon.
Right.
You can get Wi-Fi?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dorothy, we really should consider going if they'll
Yeah,
have
we
us.
never go on a
The
mission
only
where there's
time
Wi-Fi.
the only area that has Wi-Fi is right in the operating room. So that's the place to be.
Okay, so you're in the operating room. This operating room, is it in a hospital or are you out in the open? I thought you said you were in a tent.
We lived in a tent, but we operated in the operating room in a building. So in the hospital.
Yeah.
So we were with air conditioning.
Okay.
And this time
In the
someone-
operating room.
In the operating room. And this time someone brought Bluetooth speakers. So we were jamming tunes in both rooms while we had two female wonderful anesthesiologists.
Yeah.
And one baby would go to sleep in one room, the other one would wake up in the other room, and there was boom, boom, thank you, ma'am.
Oh my God! And she's
Yeah.
complaining about her sewage here, but I know the issue there is
yeah, we can't
horrifying.
use the toilet paper in
Yeah.
the toilet.
Yeah.
That was a little hard.
Not
thing.
you can't do that at my house either, apparently.
Exactly. We could operate in your downstairs.
It's
I would
really-
feel right at home.
So some people may want to, in the chat room, may want to ask you some medical questions.
I would
so
love to
we'll
answer
throw
all
out
questions.
That you do all kinds of surgery. What did you mostly do in Haiti? And can you tell us? Because you know Dr. Ferry very well, who was
I
here with us
do.
2 weeks ago.
He's adorable,
He's
by
cute.
the way.
I know.
But
he
you're
was cute.
cuter.
Yeah.
Thank
he he was saying, when we get these kids, they're half dead. Do you find that in Haiti?
No. He does the hard ones. I do the easy ones.
Well, that's why you do so many.
Exactly. Thank you. So all the kids that come to see me are so beautiful and healthy. They just have one thing wrong with them. So they go to sleep under anesthesia. They wake up under anesthesia. I hate to toot my own horn, but we have the lowest complication rate. And that's why Sister Judy and at St. Damian's, they want us back every year because the nurses and the anesthesiologists and the support staff, we do such a great job. And honestly, we just do really simple cases, mostly inguinal hernias, hydroceles, and stuff like that. So where if you had your son come to Children's Hospital Los Angeles, I'd say you go to sleep, you wake up, all done. They have a little Band-Aid, and you're out the door in an hour and a half, right? So those are the things that we do at St. Damian's, and they just can't afford it. It isn't like a transplant surgery or open heart this or that.
Yeah,
It's
but
a
if they don't
simple-
have this surgery,
Well, what's it like for them to live like that if they don't have this corrective surgery? What you're shaking your head?
Quality
no,
of
Caren.
life is, very much affected depending on if he's having a hernia or.
So I tell my families all the time, oh, it's just a little bulge, but it's a loop of bowel that's sticking out. And if it gets twisted and
Necrotic.
can't come back in, then it's dead bowel. And then it's a bowel obstruction.
Is that what a hernia is? I don't know what a
Exactly.
hernia
hernia
is.
is like a little pocket in your abdominal cavity.
I don't think I ever knew either.
Yeah, so I would draw you a picture, but it's like a little pocket.
Do you want
We
it?
have cameras. I mean, it's
I forgot. Because I'm not wearing eyeliner.
cameras I forgot to tell you
Thank
about.
you. But it's just a little pocket. Intestines will stick out, and if it's a girl, a beautiful girl, ovary can stick out, twist, and then get necrotic. Then their lives are at stake, and they can't call 911. Right? They can't go to their local doctor to reduce it. So I feel like in my own way, I'm helping a lot of children prevent all those horrible things that could potentially happen in the future.
I read this statistic that 10% of all children before the age of 5 in Haiti die because of a simple complication that can be corrected. And my guess is those statistics are much higher, but those are the statistics I was able to find.
You are amazing. I didn't even prompt you for that one, Anna.
Thank you.
She's the real reporter.
I am. I can't help
Thank
myself.
you for
You should
investigating
take her to
that.
I'm
Haiti.
the serious one.
You are the serious
Now
one.
can I go to Haiti?
She's the serious serious one until we start talking about Revenge with Madeleine Stowe.
I can't. My husband is so excited.
Is he?
Does he watch that show?
No, but he loves Madeleine.
Oh, she's so gorgeous.
He only watches it for her.
So, Cathy,
Sorry, Peter.
can you tell us what the rest of Haiti is like?
It's a beautiful, beautiful country. There is a beach. There are mountains, and there are mountains beyond mountains, to quote a famous book. And where we go right in the center of Port-au-Prince, where we see, with the first year we went was a couple years after the earthquake, and the tent city was still there. The cathedral still in ruins. And now I have to tell you, this is my third year going back. So much amazing progress.
It has. There is progress
Amazing
because that's been the
progress.
criticism that there hasn't been much progress, and it's also been the frustration for everyone living there, frankly.
Right.
So what's different?
So they're building. You see cranes up. You see the morale of the local Haitian people a little better than the year before. And I sat next to the ambassador's wife on the plane ride back.
Name dropper.
Fancy.
Go on.
Just to let you
always.
know.
Oh.
And she was telling me that she feels like her husband is doing such good work there. And because of the American generosity, so the Haitians sometimes feel, and let's get a little political, they don't feel like the money's coming because they don't see it fast enough. But I think with time, we're doing a great, great service to them and helping them out because they really do need the help.
I'm excited. We've got a phone call. Who will our first phone call be from, Dorothy? Lucy, do you even know?
I think is it Dr. Artie?
Dr. Zari.
Oh, Dr. Zari.
Dr. Zari Haddad?
Yes. Yes.
Are you there? Hello.
Zari's gone? Oh, Zari's terrific. She got to go to Haiti because she speaks French. She was
Beautiful.
helpful.
Yes.
And she's a therapist, which was
Yes.
helpful.
Yes.
But I don't think she's
Did we
there.
lose her? All right, hopefully she'll call back.
Well, we'll keep talking then. So you've seen progress, which is important.
Do you feel
Yes.
safe in Haiti?
A good question. Sorry for the pause, but I have to pause because it's always we were never alone. We had a driver, we had a local person with us, and from one compound to the next compound, we had an escort.
But you know, when you don't have, and you're desperate, and you can't get anything, and your family is starving,
You will
this
do
is a
anything.
situation where you will do anything. I mean, I really, I'm not condoning this,
No,
but when
you're
you are
absolute-
desperate and the people are desperate, they do desperate things
Do we have-
to survive.
Do we have Zara? You know what, Zara, you can probably talk about this.
Yes.
Oh, I'm here, but I just finished a session, and so I wasn't listening on the radio. I don't know what the conversation has been yet.
That's all right. Nobody else was listening either, Zara.
Well, I wish I could have listened.
We were saying that you being a therapist was just an extra bonus of you being a volunteer with
Yeah.
Kathy.
And being a translator, right?
Yeah,
being
that
both.
too.
Yeah.
That was your
Yes.
purpose on the trip. And we were just talking about desperation, and the situation in Haiti, because we asked Dr. Cathy Shin, did she feel safe? And they had to have escorts everywhere. And I brought up the notion that when you have such a dire situation, people do act in desperate ways. Can you express to us what it was like for you there?
Well, actually, people had warned me, are you crazy? It's not safe there. It wasn't safe before the earthquake. It can't be safe now, and on and on and on. And part of what I experienced now, just simply as a person, never mind as a therapist, was that I felt differently. I did not experience fear in the same kind of way that I would experience here in the safety of Los Angeles, let's say. So your sense of threat and danger shifts where you're in a place that is in such need of you.
That's interesting. You're too
are-
valuable for anyone to harm. They need you.
become what they need to feel safe. And in that context, you do feel safe. I never felt not safe.
I would protect Zari with my life. So that was her
And she's
personal
got a
bodyguard.
scalpel most of the time.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I
And
know
she knows how to use it.
Who was that? Kathy, is that you?
Yes, hello, Zari.
Oh, hi.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
How about the people there? Did you sense desperation, or is that a word we're using and we shouldn't be using?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'd like to contextualize this and say that I can't very honestly say that I was in Haiti because I really was in St. Damien's.
In
You
the
know,
hospital.
we were at the hospital and we stayed at the hospital in terms of, we lived there for a week. And mind you, the second year I was there, we'd go out to eat in the evenings, whereas the first year we hardly even did that. So what I mean, I certainly saw the desperation of parents bringing their children in, and I was in awe of their dedication. You know, the last 2-3 days we've been complaining so much about the heat right here in LA. These parents would come with their babies and little children and sit outside in the hopes that we might see them. They would take, I don't know how many little buses, you know, to get there, and then sit outside and then maybe make it inside the clinic where we had a fan, no air conditioning, and etc. And the dedication of that, I see that as dedication more than desperation.
Yeah, to
but-
your child.
Right. That's, of course, I'm talking about the parents.
Yeah.
But the thing at St. Damien's that impressed me was people's ability to trust in us and cooperate with us. Because this was their hospital. And here we are, you know, in a sense, intruding on their turf.
You know, because you're going to help, but you're right. You are in essence intruding.
Zari, is it true that you sang lullabies to the children in French?
She has a lovely voice. Lovely voice.
Yes, I did. You know, I was frankly not able to use the French as much as I was hoping I would, because as it turns out, the people who speak French are the ones who go to school or have been educated.
Right.
And, you know, only 60% of children go to school. That was the statistic, I think, 2 years ago when we were there, when I was there. And so a lot of the children really just know Creole because that's what they hear at home. And so with those children, I would just unconsciously, or maybe even consciously, start humming a lullaby. Frère Jacques would be more familiar to them than Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, for example. And I think I was right.
Any
because
particular child that you remember or have a thought about?
You know, actually, I do. There are a handful of children that somehow stamped the moment for me. I can't necessarily say why exactly. It was probably a co-creation of them and I in that particular moment. And what I could contribute was very haphazard and random because my function wasn't as structured as any of the other people on the team.
Yeah, you
who
were a volunteer.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, the whole point of the volunteerism. So, Dr. Cathy Shin, how important is it when you are trying to do what you're trying to do to have these volunteers who sometimes don't feel that useful?
She's essential.
Are you passing notes to each other? What's going on over there?
You don't want
The
to.
volunteers are essential.
You don't want us to know what's going on over here.
No. I was just. She could tell you about Zari and a new volunteer that went this year, and how they were critical, both of them in their own way, to make.
I want to hear about that, and also just about how it's all women who always go on this trip. It's an all-female team.
We don't do it on purpose, but I feel like the best doctors and nurses are just so happen to be women.
Yes.
Not to. So sorry. Is this bad? Am I going to get in trouble? We're going to get letters.
For those who don't know, Dr. Shin is very sarcastic.
All I'm saying
I
is
think she meant that, though.
Yes, that's true.
That's
that
true. So I feel like, it's very unique. So as a guy, I don't come in there as the boy surgeon with all these
The boy baggage.
Exactly, the boy baggage, and expecting like all the girl nurses and lower people to like bow down to
Kowtow.
me.
Got
Yeah,
it.
so I go there. I clean the room in between so I can move the cases. I pick up the baby afterwards, and I move the baby. I put the IVs in. I do everything.
Although
to
I
help
heard you would
things
not put
moving.
the suppository in
I
a
do that
certain
too.
area. I heard you didn't like. Yeah, I heard someone
No,
else
Caren
did that.
did the suppositories.
I'm a professional.
So's
person.
Caren.
So, but those volunteers essential, crucial because
Hmm.
they connect. Because I don't connect with the babies because they're asleep. I mean, I say hi and I examine them, but then I move on to the next one.
When do you connect with them?
Oh,
then?
she's so not telling
When-
the truth. At night, she
Oh, she's
goes
a
and
softie.
snuggles
Yeah.
with them.
Oh my
Really?
Oh,
gosh.
yeah.
So Madeleine Stowe, hopefully she'll come on and she'll tell you about the orphan room at St. Damian's. So I gotta tell you, that's when we do our bonding because we're not operating and the babies are not under anesthesia, but we just go and play. I have lollipops in my pocket. And
Saving the world one lollipop at a time.
oh my
That's
gosh,
my
I should
favorite
put
phrase.
that. I should put that on a T-shirt.
That's my favorite phrase.
because those orphans, they're there and no one visits them.
So tell us about
Yeah,
that.
tell us about that.
Karen, tell them about St. Damian's.
So St. Damian's is part of a larger organization that is in.
Oh, and
Many
we're supposed to talk to somebody from St. Damian's. Is that
Oh.
who's on the line?
Who's on the line?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Willie, Willitza.
Oh, Willie.
Round of
That was
applause.
so loud.
Okay. Yeah, the crowd's going crazy. We will get back to talking about the orphans because I was starting to tear up. But I want Cathy to tell a little bit about you because she wanted to tell your story.
So, Willie, I'm so glad you're here. Willie is an amazing young woman. She is Haitian, so her Creole is très bien, if you know what I mean. And she is now a fourth-year medical student at University of Connecticut. And she left Haiti when she was young, partly because of the danger. I don't know how much Willie wants to say, but she
Not
was so
very much.
but that's all. Now she's in Connecticut. She's applying to general surgery, and she helped me in the clinic. And
So she's a medical student.
yes, fourth
Yeah.
year medical student, and a girl.
Yeah.
Go girls, and go girls in surgery. Awesome. Yeah.
Yay.
Willie,
I
how are
applied
you?
yesterday.
Oh, congratulations! I wrote her letter of recommendation. I hope it gets her in.
And she, oh God, I hope you do. I don't
my
know,
gosh,
with
I
Dr.
know.
Cathy Shin helping.
So, Willie, how are you?
I'm doing great. I just left the case, actually, to do this.
Oh, good.
Sorry.
But
familiar.
that's
Excuse
okay.
me,
It's
everyone.
okay.
I just need to
also
say
getting
goodbye.
sick.
Oh,
I
hold
gotta-
on. Zari needs to say goodbye.
All right,
Goodbye,
Yes.
Zari.
Goodbye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Au revoir. Al biento.
Zari
Thank
probably
you.
has another
Zari.
case. And
Bye-bye.
Willie, who did you leave there? Probably on the operating table. Is everything going to be
Me?
okay?
Yes, Willie.
No. They're in good hands. I mean,
Okay.
There's a resident there, 2 residents there, and the surgeon's also there, obviously.
So how is it for you being from Haiti to go back there in this capacity?
It was an incredible experience. I don't think there is any other way. I'd rather be back to Haiti than go back and serve and be useful and using what I love and what I studied to help. So it was great. On my way back, I was crying like a baby. It was a great experience. There's no other way. I'd rather be back home in Haiti than to go back and volunteer and seeing patients.
And how old were you when you left?
I was 15 years old when
so,
I left.
So you
It
have
was sort of unexpected, but yeah, I was 15 years old.
So how is it better or possibly worse than when you were growing up?
In Haiti,
Mhm.
I think it's better. When I left, it was in 2004. It was right after the last, the President Aristide left.
Mm-hmm.
So things were not. I mean, we went back to Haiti, and there were people in Shin at 9:10 p.m. And when I was there, that was unheard of. 9:10 p.m. Shin the main public place in Haiti, public park in Haiti, would have been empty at that time. So I think there's lots of progress. The airport is completely changed. It's so lively. There's just this sense of hope back in the country now.
Oh, that's nice.
That's how I feel about it. Everyone is just kind of hopeful and looking forward to the future. When I left, it was just a sense of despair, even though it was before the earthquake. Just everything just felt bad. But now it looks different, and I'm very happy. I can't wait to go back.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Anna, to your point about volunteers coming on the trip, she wanted to come last year, and she tried so hard to get in on the trip, but that's when it was
Yeah.
still closed, and we weren't able to bring her. So she was persistent,
Yes.
and we found, and she was an incredible asset to the team. So,
And now, because she also speaks Creole.
well, yes.
So, and then I'm curious, Willie, how was that for you? While you're telling someone else's story in real time, and you're just the conveyor of information, yet for you emotionally, there's a lot going on there. What was all of that like?
I mean, it was great. It was great for me to be in that capacity because I know a lot of people speak French and a lot of people speak different Creole, but being from Haiti, there's an element of the culture that I can also explain to Dr. Lily or Dr. Shin. At times it was rough. There's one particular patient who definitely had an effect on me. I almost cried, and we had to take a moment for me to regroup and all of that. So at times it was hard because these are the conditions. This is what I left. These were the situations that I escaped. Like some of these patients could have been me. Some of these patients could have been my cousins. Some of these patients were my cousins at one point.
Were you crying?
So at times it was a little bit rough.
But why were you were crying because you felt torn, like because you had managed to get out? Did you deal with those feelings as well?
Well, this only happened one time, mind you. There was one patient who was really rough on me because we couldn't help because we weren't equipped for that.
That is the
and I
hardest
also
thing you will
felt
ever
like
face.
maybe
with
I
mending
didn't
kids.
explain things well enough, and yeah.
That's
So
hard.
I don't know.
Sometimes there are
But,
kids that we cannot help, and I don't think that's a part we like to talk about, but
It
sometimes
yeah.
we
it is-
can't.
It is the hardest part of this, being in Mending Kids.
This was probably a huge learning experience for me at that time.
Yeah,
But
I always think-
that was the only time.
You know, we try and help every kid who comes to us. We try and help the sickest of the sick and the poorest of the poor. But there are there are only certain surgeries that you can do while you're there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the good thing is with this particular child, I've been in contact with one person back in Haiti, and they're taking care of him. So
Look at you.
Yeah.
She's mending all the way from Connecticut.
I love that.
Yeah.
We love that about you.
What did you write on her recommendation? I hope it was really good.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I
God.
said that she was the moon and the stars. So
Does that help in being a doctor?
and my letters of recommendations are not very professional. They're very touchy-feely.
Kind of like you.
Kinda.
I saw in the chat room somebody said that you were fun.
I was very fun. I am still fun. And at the very end, I give out my cell phone number. I'm like, whoever reads this letter, I can't recommend Willie enough. So call me on my cell. So hopefully they'll call me.
yes, they did say that.
Willie, you're going to be a great doctor.
Absolutely.
Dr. Shin was amazing in teaching me. I mean, I'm in my surgery sub-internship now, and it was very helpful spending that 1 week in Haiti and spending those 2-3 days in New York and remembering like how to suture and tie and things like that, and how to hold a bovie, which I was complimented on multiple times.
Did
So-
she make you put any suppositories and No, I guess
No, not this.
That's Karen's job. Everyone knows that.
But you know, part of what Mending Kids does when we're on the road is teach. So
Absolutely.
I'm glad that
So were you able to teach the doctors there in Haiti, or are there just not enough in Haiti? The situation just doesn't apply.
No, it doesn't apply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No.
Because that's part of the
I mean,
mission.
there were
Yeah.
some
We
interactions
tried.
with Dr. Lily and the pharmacist, for instance. We were telling them these are the medications we use in the States. And they're saying, we don't have these medications. And we're explaining, like, why we don't use, for instance, salmeterol on kids. And it was a learning experience for the both of us at that point, because they're telling us we don't have albuterol in Haiti. We're saying we don't use whatever medication you have there. We don't use it in the States because of these and these side effects. So it was definitely like a two-way thing.
often, we bring that's Karen's job. It brings everything.
But what she's saying is really the heart of a mission. Is it's an exchange of knowledge. I mean, sometimes they learn because we have everything at our disposal, so we expect certain things, and then we learn they do with much less. And so our doctors come back learning, how to do things differently or more efficiently. It's an exchange of knowledge when they do get to participate with be it a pharmacist or a physician or a nurse or whatever.
See, that's why I say you are the heart of Mending Kids, because I've been on several missions with you, and you don't enter a country or an operating room with this is how we're doing it. You walk in and say, we want to help.
We're here to serve. You can't serve and judge at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the orphan room, because you guys were starting to talk about that.
No, I'm sorry, what?
We're going to start talking about the orphan room, but we want to, unless you want to add something before you go, Willie. We know you've got to get back to school.
Oh, no. I do have to get back, but I just want to say this was a great program, both as a student, as someone who's from Haiti, as a volunteer. I think this was an incredible opportunity for personal level, professional level, learning level, whatever you want to call it. And I'd be happy to recommend anyone to participate, and I'd be happy to come back.
We miss you. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Willie.
Willie.
Right? You go back every year.
Absolutely.
No. Okay, so the orphan room.
So the orphan room, Caren and I have been there, and Madeleine has been there, if I can call her Madeleine. Do I call her Madeleine Stowe? Ms. Stowe?
Is this in the
Madeleine?
book by
Yes,
any chance?
open the book.
We have a book, by the way. We have show and tell here. This is a great book, by the way, that Mending Kids has put together about the missions to Haiti, which they also use to fundraise and help support these missions. So you want to find the picture in
Absolutely.
the book?
I can,
Oh, you'll do it.
I can
Karen,
do
you
it.
find the picture.
And
you,
Cathy
Dr.
can
Shin, keep
talk.
talking.
So one of
Don't
our nurses,
cry.
Caitlin, wants a baby really badly. Hasn't found Mr. Right yet. It's hard to find Mr. Right in Los Angeles, but
Haiti and LA are a lot alike in this thing.
exactly right. You understand me? Yeah. So, but Caitlin really wants a baby, and I keep on telling her, just go find someone
love
to get
Caitlin.
pregnant, right?
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to do that. But she loves holding babies. So we would go to the orphan room after we do it all day of operating, and there would be just lovely children just there. And there's only one nurse in that room, and there were like
One
nurse.
For how many children?
There were probably like 11 or 12.
And each one of them needs to be held.
Well, everyone needs to be held,
Yeah.
right? And they're there all by themselves.
Caitlin.
And this is Caitlin.
Oh, look at that.
This is so bad, but we were thinking
Let's
some
tell her
sinister-
about Fascia and taking the baby home.
We were thinking about taking this one home, which is kind of illegal. But we thought
Well, there are channels, there are ways of doing this.
right, right. And then as we were, we would just take him all around the hospital, and then Miss Sister Judy would come up and say, "Yeah, you can't do what you're thinking right now."
Okay, but why not? This is an orphan.
That's how we're thinking, but she has supply.
Yeah.
So her application is in process.
Is it
You're
really?
kidding, really?
Yes, and then
For
the
this
sec-
baby?
No, that one was actually went someplace else.
Oh,
Went
but
to
that baby
France.
found a
This
home.
baby
Yeah.
has a home.
Yeah.
Oh, we love that
Yeah.
happy
Oh my God!
endings.
When you start to talk about kids, you do that high pitch.
What I do? I get very excited with babies.
The whole time we were in Cambodia,
And
I said to
monks.
her,
And monks.
"Oh yeah,
And
that's a story
monks,
we
I
must tell."
do.
I said, "Can you say it's a baby boy?" And she cannot say. She can't say it like a normal human being. She cannot say
They're so
it's a baby boy.
I know. I love all these pictures. I mean, they're just so joyful. I think this is what I love so much about Mending Kids and this kind of work. It's because we're talking about things that are dire and they're horrible and they're sad. Yet
There's some joy.
I find so much joy in the hope.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I choose to live in the hope and the joy. I choose to live
But
in there.
I think people approach charity as it's something very heavy
Right.
and self-righteous, and the flies buzzing around children, because we've seen that image so
Right.
many times. I think the way we approach it, and certainly the way you two approach it, is what the
Fun.
hell? Let's just do
it.
something.
Right.
Do it.
Caren
Just
and I
do
would
it.
just hold hands and just jump right in.
Yeah.
Let's just get wet. Just jump right in.
But okay, so tell me about some moments between the two of you, because I know it's not easy. So tell the truth of what a mission is really like.
We've been on a mission with Caren, so we know it's not
my
easy.
gosh.
The time when we were above the OR and we were in essentially a ward with no air conditioning, no fans,
No toilet, I've heard at
yeah.
some point. Yeah.
We had a toilet, just no toilet paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and the water in the shower with a pipe of cold water sticking out.
Right.
That
just
might
one-
feel good, though, when it's so hot.
But
Totally.
but if you can get along with everybody and maintain
And you're together all the
positive-
time.
We're essentially
We're family.
Yeah, you're living
fam-
together.
We're a
We are.
family, and we bond. And there's so many. You have to stop yourself from crying all the time.
It's a little bit like a girls' dorm because in this last one, we all shared a bathroom. There are 6 of us. And so one would be in the shower, and there'll be a shower curtain, right? And then the other one's brushing her teeth. And then I am pooping in the toilet. All 3 of us in the bathroom together.
That is the only
Because
place
I gotta go, 'cause
where
I gotta
I draw
go.
the line. And I'll do anything on a mission. I'll
I
do
have
anything
shared
for
a room
mending
with
kids.
you, but I will
Right?
not poop with you in the room.
My husband
I'm
has
drawn the line.
My husband has never seen that. No one
then-
will ever see that.
And then on top of all that, I'm reading while I'm pooping.
What are you reading? What are you reading? Us
A
magazine?
medical journal?
No.
Yeah, it's probably
What?
People.
No, because Father Rick sings, and he has an amazing voice. So someone wrote down and made it into a book his hymns in Creole. And there's a translation. The music is amazing. I don't know the website, but it's out there. But Father Rick has an amazing voice. He sang with Bocelli.
Oh, don't bring up Bocelli with her.
Sorry.
She tried to steal his baby.
I did not.
She
I
tried
did
to
not.
steal the baby Bocelli.
I've seen
The
that
baby
It's
Bocelli is so cute.
adorable.
We
His
sat.
wife is gorgeous.
Oh my God! So's the nanny.
We met the nanny. We were sitting with the nanny
Thank
at an
goodness Andrea's
event.
blind.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
We digress. Back to Haiti.
So Father Rick,
But
has
the baby
an amazing
Bocelli is
voice.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Father Rick has an amazing voice, and so he has a little booklet, so you can sing along with him because I have an amazing voice.
You do?
I do.
Go
ahead.
for it.
So at
We didn't
church,
make
I
Zari
wanna-
sing. Go ahead.
So in church, I want to sing, but I don't know the words. But I have this pamphlet, so I'm
Yeah.
in the toilet and on the bathroom, and I'm practicing the songs. There's one of the nurses is in the shower, and the other one's brushing her teeth.
And you're singing on the toilet.
I'm singing on the toilet.
Can she sing?
Oh, she's got a great
I
voice.
can
Really?
belt it out.
She can sing and she can poop. Karen can confirm that.
Simultaneously.
Remember, she's a multitasker.
I'm a
Clearly.
multitasker.
You're not going to sing?
Oh no, I don't. I haven't prepared because I don't have any eyeliner on.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Or
noticed
mascara.
them.
Next show, because we intend to
Next
make
show for
you.
sure.
You're
I'll
our Dr.
practice.
Oz, baby.
I'll practice with you guys.
You're our
Totally.
Dr. Oz.
I'll do it. Oh, is that what it is?
Sounds like church.
You know what,
Kinda
though?
like-
That is, if I can talk about one special moment, is every
Something more
morning
special than the
at
pooping?
7
Okay.
a.m., Dr. Rick and Sister Judy and the staff have a mass. And that's where they bring the patients who have passed away the night before, and they are in the middle of the room. And it's one of it. You don't have to be Catholic or whatever.
Just human.
If you're there and you experience that humanity, the dignity that he's giving to these people who no one cares about, it's, if you're not moved or changed by that experience, then you never will be.
The
But
best part is the Jordanian UN is next door.
yes.
And during the mass, while he's singing in Creole with the dead bodies on the floor, you hear the Jordanians call for prayer.
Oh,
you
it's so
hear-
beautiful in the morning, isn't it?
Isn't it
it's
gorgeous?
so.
Yes.
I love
so
that call.
Because I'm Episcopalian, and I believe in God, but having a Catholic priest
Mm-hmm.
with a couple dead bodies, with the Jordanian call to prayer, phenomenal.
It
You
says
have
it
to-
all. It says it all about what's happening in Haiti and who the people are and everything about it, the diversity and the beauty at once.
Absolutely.
And
You said it
speaking
so well.
of
Thank you.
phenomenal, do we have Madeleine?
Hi.
My
I can
husband
hear you.
My husband loves you.
I love her.
That's Dr. Cathy Shin, whose husband loves you. And you two need to know each other because you've both done such great work in Haiti.
They've never met?
I saw you from a distance at the gala, and I was too afraid to say hello.
Oh, stop.
Madeleine is the reason that we got to go to Haiti.
Madeleine, how did you get Mending Kids into Haiti?
Well, I mean, it's so funny. I never thought about it that way because what happened is, we've been doing work with this astonishing organization that has a minuscule overhead, and they basically serve 400,000 people annually between healthcare, providing clean water, a beautiful pediatric hospital called St. Damian's, and I'm on the board of Artists for Peace and Justice, and we were founded by filmmaker Paul Haggis, and there are all these wonderful actors who, we came together to support the efforts of a man who is a doctor and a Catholic priest, Father Richard Frechette, and he works in the most difficult areas of Haiti. And then the quake happened. We've been involved for 2 years prior to the quake. The quake happened, and everything was chaotic. and there were some very severe cases. I mean, they were dealing with a situation where they couldn't even obtain morphine, and children were being amputated, adults were being, it was just horrific. And there were some very complex surgeries because the hospitals were inundated, and there were a couple of children who had multiple issues due to injuries. And when I called around Los Angeles, some top doctors from UCLA, from USC, they all said, call Mending Kids. This is a remarkable organization. They can help get visas in line if they decide to take these cases. And they were gracious enough to do this. And in a couple of these situations, two little girls required multiple surgeries over the course of a good bit of time. So they screen families, kind of hosting families very, very carefully. These families become dedicated to these children and making sure that they, provide a comforting background. So they were so impressive about the way they handled things and making sure that all the visas were taken care of properly. And I was dealing with the State Department with them, and Marshall was incredibly organized. And a collaboration developed, and they came down and said, look, we'd like to do further help and do some general surgeries in Haiti. And came down. I think the last mission was how many kids? Was it
75 children, 89 procedures.
Yeah, it was like 75, right?
She's very proud of that number.
It's a great number. Are you kidding?
It's a great number, and the need is so strong because you're basically dealing with a country that has no infrastructure. Yeah. It's quite chaotic still. There are a couple of good facilities. St. Damien's is probably one of the best. But they can't have a general surgeon all the time. And so many kids, really came in and took care of these issues that are nagging and can develop into more difficult problems. And, we're very, very fortunate to have this collaboration.
So I know you've been there several times. Just tell us, what is your Haiti? Describe your Haiti for us.
Well, it's a very complex Haiti. I've been there. I go multiple times each year. So, through Artists for Peace and Justice, and I have some very close, strong relationships with Father Rick's. Father Rick is the only man, the only white person in a position of authority in the organization. It's entirely Haitian-led and run, and so we serve at their pleasure. I have dear friends who have grown up through kind of the system that he's developed, who are committed to making their country a much better place. And some of them have actually gone on to become radiologists. Dental technicians, he really, really focuses on education. And it's a thing where you see, life and death are very closely aligned with one another. You'll see really vibrant, extraordinarily warm people, and then you'll see moments of difficulty and violence, the next second. And these things all roll within minutes of one another. So it's a complex place, and it's not one that you easily shake, because there's so much work to be done. And Mending Kids has been really quite astonishing in their commitment to go, each year to do this.
Madeleine, you believe that your work in Haiti, though, is tied directly to making sure that the children are educated. Because if there's going to be a way out, education is going to be the way. And you have a school there.
Yes, we do. Education is, and work training. These are two things that are very important. But more than that, the organization that we're supporting provides, for instance, we have people who are being trained to install solar panels. Mm-hmm. We have a pasta making factory.
Mechanic
our
school.
I'm sorry?
A mechanic school for repairing
cars? A mechanic school. We build our own blocks to create structures. So it's very, this is what Father Rick has managed to do. He's incredibly ingenious, and he's able to do this and go into areas, for instance, where Doctors Without Borders has had to pull out. They put up 100 homes.
Why would they have had to pull out?
Because it was, quite frankly, just too dangerous in those areas.
They didn't have an all-girls team.
Did you hear that, Madeleine?
An all-girls team.
That's correct.
And I will say we make sure that the Mending Kids team is well protected, and they stay pretty much on that 42-acre compound that's outside of the more difficult areas.
So for you,
but it's just.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Go
Keep
ahead.
going.
You know, what we did, Artists for Peace and Justice, really, I think that the kind of big achievement that was accomplished. The Father Rick believed that there needed to be a secondary school that was free. Because in Haiti, essentially, you can have a free secondary school, but having to pay for the books will just wipe a family out.
Yeah.
You know, books and materials. So we built this beautiful school. We have 2,700 kids, grades 7 through 11. We're about to have the 12th grade in the coming year. We will have 3,000 children, and it's gorgeous. When people see it, they just light up because there really isn't anything quite like it. To our knowledge, anyway. Mm-hmm.
It's gorgeous.
And these are people from the U.S. government who've looked at it, everything. Mm-hmm.
So for you, this is probably really putting you on the spot, but is there sort of a best and a worst moment that come to mind that sort of sum up your experiences there?
Well, there's, how can I say, when you first go there, you can't, when you're really out and about, you don't really absorb it all in one draft.
You can't
know
process it, can you? You can't process
you
all of that
can't
once.
process it. It isn't until you come home that you realize what's gone on, and sometimes you weep, but there's this ache to go back, you know. And because the fellowship is so strong, the bonding with these people who have a common goal. And I want to also be very clear that this particular, Mending Kids has been extraordinarily helpful. But, St. Damian's and the adjacent St. Luke's Adult Hospital, they bring in doctors from around the world. Mayo Clinic has helped. Mending Kids has done very, very specific work. As well with this great awesome male team.
And you,
but I'm sorry, I had a very sick father, so there was a real feeling of helplessness I had around it. He had a really one of the worst cases of MS you could ever have, and so on the one hand you get toughened from that, and on the other hand you're still left wrestling with the feeling that you were helpless to do anything. And I think my draw to all of this has really been a way to kind of heal that for me, because I couldn't do anything. And this is something, this participating and asking what these people need and what they want and trying to find means to provide that means everything. And Mending Kids was so willing to jump in has been really kind of something that we've all been really proud of, and it shows really the goodness of the human heart. They're great people.
And you've really been there for us, and this is what Anna's waiting for, the segue, because you brought the entire cast of Revenge to our poker event. The entire cast.
It was such a fun night.
How
Marcel Sellers is always finding all these kind of creative, fun events to have, and that was a great night, and they all came back.
How did you get everybody to come? Because everyone was there. You must have threatened them in some way.
Nothing says charity like a poker game.
No. I mean, Marcel is a genius in terms of how she creates these events, and her team is, and it's like, okay, Haiti and kids and free surgery. That's a no-brainer.
And poker, yeah, hello.
And poker, yeah, hello. Jodie Foster and Robert
Sean
Downey.
Penn.
And,
it was a fun night.
And Sean Penn and Mel, and, why not? What a crazy team.
As much as I love Revenge, Anna, who is normally such a serious human being, Anna Garcia, is obsessed. So I'm going to let her ask a couple of questions.
Madeleine, I am so obsessed that last night on my DVR, I replayed the season finale. So I would be so ready for you today because it was such a cliffhanger. Okay.
That's how you prep for Haiti. You watch.
I do.
Okay.
That's how I prep for this
then.
show, watching your season finale. All right. So everyone, if you watch Revenge, Madeleine Stowe plays the one and only Victoria Grace. Grayson. Okay, when does the season launch? Tell us what's going to happen. Does Victoria Grayson get out of the institution?
Oh, that's right. When we left you, you were
Yes.
in the crazy house.
You were with your
Well,
hands shackled.
Of course, she gets out of the institution, and I just can't tell you when. But here's the basic. I can't. There's so much going on. I can't give. I'm obviously, they'll chop off my head if I tell you what's happening.
Nobody's listening. It's all right. It's just us. Go ahead.
Essentially, there's going to be a little bit of a role reversal.
Ooh,
And
okay.
Victoria now is so enraged and bereaved that she's going to find every way she can to exact revenge on Emily, and she does it psychologically.
Ooh. And now and Emily's dad, right?
I'm sorry?
And Emily's dad, David Clark, is alive?
He's a very, very big part of how she's going to exact
Okay, this is sad, but I got chills when you said David Clark was alive. That is really sad. After the conversation we've had today, that's when I get chills. I'm very upset with myself.
This is LA, you know?
The thing that's interesting about him after everything that happened, it's an interesting story because Emily remembers him from the prism of being a child, right? So we all love our parents. And Victoria remembers him a little bit differently.
Wasn't he her lover?
And this might be sort of the beginning of another larger mystery. And when he comes back, he is not the person that, because of everything he's been through, and maybe something more, he may not be the person Emily ever thought he was.
And the clothes. Everybody talks about Scandal, and I do love those clothes, but your clothes, I think,
God.
win.
Victoria Grayson is like rocking it in every shot. It's
Every
unbelievable.
shot is tailored.
Gorgeous.
I'm actually so thrilled because I'm not having to wear tight dresses for a little bit. So, but,
You're in a hospital gown, right?
In a hospital gown was such a relief, and getting to wear jeans, such a relief. But I can't say too much more. And they're always going to make Victoria.
Well, I love that as evil as you are, and as evil as everyone on the show seems to be, it's just the nicest group of people in the universe. I mean, really, you guys hang out, you play poker together for charity. I mean, it's a really nice group.
They're really good people, and we have more people come onto the show who are guest performers who say it's not like that on it's a really good work environment, and I think that people are grateful and happy to be there, But furthermore, I mean, as wild as the story is, and entertaining and amusing, and sometimes kind of frustrating, and it allows me to do this other kind of work, which really brings deeper meaning to to my life, and that's really important. And we all get there when we get there.
You're
right?
such a beautiful human being. I don't know how you go to bitchy so fast on the show, but I guess that is acting.
Because you are the biggest bee on TV, without a question.
She is, and she is relentless. So
I think
tune in
Dr.
and watch.
Shin, I think if we're doing TV Grey's Anatomy, you're Arizona Robbins, I think, except for the lesbian stuff. I mean,
Right.
you're the
Can
pediatric.
I just say, Madeline won
I
the
have
Keck
I've
School
never
of
seen
Medicine of
Grey's Anatomy. I'm sorry?
USC Humanitarian Award. That's so awesome.
Doc, can we call her Dr. Madeline then?
I think that's fantastic.
Got some fancy award. You who's never seen Grey's Anatomy?
She won the USC Humanitarian Award.
You got a humanitarian award, Madeline?
Yeah, I did. Well,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
So
little
wait,
thing.
I should say
I
it
won
was
one
from
too.
Dr. Henri Ford, who
That's
who
my
is
boss.
Yeah. He's a wonderful man, and he's a Haitian, and he went down to do an incredible amount of work. And he's actually trying to start the first national trauma hospital in Haiti, and it's extraordinarily challenging, as you know. And we all hope it works, because he's a big, tough, willful man, charismatic, wonderful, smart as can be. I think a Princeton graduate, went to Harvard
Princeton
Medical.
and Harvard Medical School.
Yeah, and he's been very supportive of Mending Kids and St. Amy's.
We're almost out of time. If nothing else, we got the two of you together. Dr. Cathy Shin got to sort of
Madeline,
meet
I can't
Madeleine.
wait to meet you.
Maybe you guys will go to Haiti together.
Likewise.
But
likewise.
okay, last thing, really quickly, is there anything people can do? People who are listening, people who are in the chat room. You know, I mean, we're telling all these lofty stories of you in surgery and Madeleine, what you do. But what can somebody who's sitting at home? What can they do? Can they help Haiti in some way?
Well, there are many ways to do it. Here's my personal philosophy, okay? And I'm not here to. I think what happens is that people have a tendency, because we've been almost trained from a very young age to give to these large agencies like the Red Cross, you know, really, really big named
Because
Yeah,
that's who
the
you know.
established
humanitarian
charities, yeah.
agencies. Unfortunately, with these agencies, is that their overhead is massive, just incredibly enormous. Marshall runs a very tight ship. Her overhead is very small. Our overhead is, you know, Artists for Peace and Justice. It is paid for by angel donors. So 100% of every dollar that you send in goes to the work on the ground. Again, Father Rick's St. Luke's organization, minuscule overhead. So whatever you do, wherever you want to give, really, really check out the financials. There should be some disclosure. And
I'm
make
really
sure that
cheap.
these people
I
are...
use one
I'm
suture
sorry?
for the whole case.
Oh,
I'm really
sorry?
cheap. I use one suture for the whole case, so it's not very
Well,
expensive to do
No,
a mission trip.
There you go. It's so, you know, find what means something to you, but make sure that you know where that money is going.
yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, you 89
and
surgeries
unfortunately,
in 1 week.
the large organizations like Red Cross have very little, in the case of Haiti, to show for what they've done.
So we're
And
going to
I'm being
link.
really honest there.
Yeah,
I'm
we're going
sorry?
to link. We're going to link on the Mending Kids website. We're going to link to your website. We're going to have more information on Haiti for people who do want to help.
Fantastic.
You've heard about some great organizations today, so we've certainly given viewers and listeners some options.
And you
about,
want to know when Revenge is back. Is it Sunday?
the DVR
It
is
is
set.
the last Sunday of this month. Is that
Oh,
the
okay.
28th or the 30th? I'm not sure. Somewhere in there.
And Madeleine's
I
coming
should
to
know
my
these
house
things.
to watch. We're going to watch it at my house. Madeleine's coming
Will you
over.
please let Cathy Shin come over?
All right.
husband.
All right.
Her
ladies,
husband.
We'll have some drinks and have a good time.
Oh, I
It'll
like
be
it.
good.
You are a beautiful human being in so many ways,
No,
Madeleine.
stop,
Thank you.
stop.
You
It's a pleasure
are.
to speak to you. Thanks,
Oh,
guys.
Thank you. You're
Thank
just
you.
so
Thank you,
gracious.
Madeleine.
Thank you.
How cute is she?
Adorable.
Wow.
You're
what
in
a
love.
fun show.
You're in Girl Crush.
I totally am. Yeah.
wow.
Thanks, Dr. Oz. Okay, I think we're just about done, right?
I think so. Wasn't
Okay.
that fun, Dorothy? That was a great show.
And I think we actually, surprising for us, especially me, we got some good information out there.
I think we did. In
think we
spite
did.
of ourselves, you
Yes,
mean?
yes.
Yes. All right. Well, that's
right.
it for the Mending Kids Hour. We'll see you back here in a week or so. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
All right. Well, you're really going to have to wait for
A
us
week
then.
or so, like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
In the future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.